What's up, guys? Thought I would come out here tonight to talk to you about something that I think that we've gotten wrong as a culture, particularly within the last several decades of our country. What I mean by that, it's basically become commonplace, or at least what most people think that you should do in life, is that you should go out once you get to a certain age, try to buy your own place or get your own place away from your parents and things like that, and basically just start a new life, start your own new family or whatever. And if you look through the history of this country, and basically from any country around the world, one of the things that you're going to see that's happened in many cultures throughout the majority of time is you had basically multi-generational households. There's still a lot of cultures these days that still have that. And what I mean by that is just basically more than one generation, living in an area, living close proximity to each other. And for the longest time, that was how basically family wealth was passed down from one generation to the next. One of the things that's happened in recent years is that more and more people are simply casting off what the past generations have worked so hard for. And if you go into your small towns, I know we see it around here, you see farmland that was hard fought for by older generations that is just being thrown away. It's being sold off. Younger generations just want that money. They want to take it and do whatever they want with it. And then, eventually it gets to the point that, generations beyond them are going to start with little to nothing. And that's just the unfortunate reality of where we are. And I think that it is a mistake. I think that one of the things that we see, if you look at families to where they have maintained that connection in many cases, they are the ones that typically do well. And what I mean by that is they're usually working together. They're usually, they hand down that value that they've put into their property. Future generations basically have a home. I work with a guy that the home that he lives in is the one that he grew up in, because his farm is one that was given to him by his parents. Him and his brother, they had the land divided amongst themselves when their parents passed on. And we see the same around here in this community. I've got neighbors that it's the same with them, that the land that they have was land that was handed down to them from their parents. And those people do very well in many cases. They're not burdened down with the amounts of debt that a lot of others are. And yes, people do things, people make mistakes on things, but at the same time, they have learned the realities of where they are, the advantages that they have, and they try to hold on to that. And many of them are working to teach the younger generations the importance of that. My farm here, the land that I've got here, where you guys see a lot of the videos and stuff that are filmed, this is where I film them. This is my property. I don't have the equipment to do the things that I would like to do on this farm, but at the same time, it is a start to where my kids can have something going forward. I try to teach them to keep what is going to be handed to them, to understand the value of it, to see the work that I've had to put in, to me and my wife, my family, and, to get to where we are, to have what we have. And then one day it's going to be basically handed to them, and they need to take care of it. And that way, later in life, they won't struggle as much. They won't have to worry about trying to fight to make a mortgage payment to have a place to live. Take care of what you have. Don't go out, borrow a bunch of money on it and things like that. And then have it to where in future generations that you have something to where you're not struggling as much. That home you grew up in, it may not be the biggest, it may not be the fanciest, but at the same time, it's better to have a house that's paid for, a home that's paid for, than one that you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to pay for. Instead of moving away thinking you got to buy a new house. And guys, look at what happens when people go out. They spend their entire life working to try to pay for a place to live. At the end of their life, most of them, a lot of them, don't ever have it paid for. And then that money, all those payments, everything that they've done, it just gets wasted. It gets auctioned off, it goes back to the bank or whatever. And, you know, there again, a future generation, you know, their kids or whatever are left struggling. Same with businesses. It's unfortunate that you've got a lot of folks that will have a good, successful business, and then younger generations come up and they squander it. They don't take the responsibility that they should. They don't keep things going the way that their parents did, or even their grandparents or whatever, and they squander all of the work and all of the effort that was put into that. And I think it's a real tragedy, guys. And what we can do to change that is beginning in our own life. You know, if you have some land, building a multi-generational homestead, building a life to where you have a business or something that you can hand down to your family, to your kids or whatever. And yes, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know that what their plans are. But at the same time, giving them the option, giving them a foundation, and trying to teach them why it's important for them to continue this. You know, throughout the majority of the history of the world, you know, you would have kids raised by their families, and if their family was known as a certain trade, by the certain trade that they did, you know, it was just handed down from one generation to the next, and those people were typically very successful. And we're seeing just the opposite of that these days. Okay, we've bought into this modern day lie. It's an absolute disaster. It's been an absolute disaster for us as a nation, our culture, everything, you know, and God did not intend it to be that way. But anyways, guys, this is just a few of my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments below. This is just a video that I wanted to do. I think that it's something that we should really think about. Think about the culture that we live in today. Think about the things going on around us and how we can make things better for our future, for our kids' future, and all that. Anyways, guys, I know this is a little bit different, but I'd appreciate it if you would like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, check out all the links below, and we'll see you next time.